Okay, boxing fans, back with another show. This is IronTruth here. Just here to talk about the results from the past 2 weeks of the major fights that have been on HBO and pay-per-view, whatever. Kind of late on the show, so I apologize for that. Anyway, last week on September the 11th, we had Gamboa defeating Orlando-Salido, 12-round decision. Pretty much dominated him the whole way. Salido, took punishment pretty well. So Gamboa clearly beat him. I mean, seemed like people were a little upset at the performance. But every time he, got aggressive and threw his 10-punch combinations and stuff like that, he, did very well. Pretty much landed everything. Basically, I think he was just trying to get some rounds in more than anything, and I think he pretty much proved he could have gotten rid of him anytime he basically wanted to, because, like I say, every time he put together, a lot of combinations, he was pretty much landing about 90% of his combinations once he would let his hands go. So, good performance from him, and now looks to a fight with possibly Juan Manuel Lopez or Rafael Marquez, whoever the winner will be out of that fight on November the 6th. So hopefully I think that will be Lopez, so that's the mega fight in that division, Lopez versus Gamboa. So hopefully that gets made sometime next year. And on the undercard, we had Anthony Peterson, previously undefeated, but no longer, fighting Peterson-Rios, another undefeated fighter. This guy just came right out of nowhere, just a tough kid, and just was determined to win. Anthony Peterson started off pretty good, first 2 rounds or so, landing his combinations, throwing, letting his hands go. But Peterson-Rios just took the punches, no problem, and just kept walking right through them. And as he said in the post-fight interview, he just didn't feel him really. He didn't get hurt, so he knew he could walk right through it. And that's what he did, and put him down. And I believe it was the 5th or 6th round, 5th round. But anyway, after that, Anthony Peterson just continuously low-blowed, and I counted like 10 times that he low-blowed. The referee let several of them slide, surprisingly. But anyway, finally did stop it in the 7th round. It was, obviously it was going Rios' way. Anthony Peterson's basically only chance was to get a knockout, and I just don't see that could have possibly happened, any time. Of course it could have happened, but I don't think that was a high possibility. So Rios won by disqualification, but basically, he had a very impressive performance. So I think he would have probably stopped him later on in the fight. If not, definitely a clear decision win would have come out of it for Rios. But this guy is definitely the real deal, so look for him in the future. He'll probably be getting a lot of exposure now on HBO and all the networks. Hopefully he deserves it. So, and don't know what Anthony Peterson's going to do. He's still young, can come back, of course, but we'll see what happens. And also that same day, September 11th, we had Peter-Klitschko fighting Samuel Peter for the 2nd time, and pretty much what I said it would be. Typical Klitschko performance, fighting like he's scared of Peter, and basically both of them were terrified of each other, and Klitschko just did a little more, and he eventually knocked him out in the 10th round. I actually didn't see the fight live. I downloaded it off the computer, saw it later, and from the internet reports, very over-exaggerating, said, headlines were Klitschko destroys Peter in 10. Very, very big exaggeration there. There was no destroying going on at all. He landed a punch here and there, not even big punches. They were just very grazing blows through about round 7 or so, and then round 10 he finally put together a good combination, and it was over right away. So Peter just, he never really had that much to begin with. I thought he could beat Klitschko back when they fought 5 years ago, But of course I wanted him to beat him this time, but I did not think for a second he would really be able to do it, especially since the decline of Peter over the past couple of years, starting basically with the older brother Vitaly making him quit on his stool. That's when I pretty much lost all respect for Peter and pretty much gave up on him being a legit contender or fighter or anything. So anyway, typical performance from Klitschko, very boring fight basically, and just hid behind his jab the whole time and knew he could have taken him out at any time, but yet he waits for 10 rounds to do so. So we'll have to see what happens. He'll probably fight a nobody next. I mean, I will say that there's not many people in the heavyweight division to fight, of course, other than David Haye. That's the mega fight, David Haye versus either Klitschko. I think Haye beats them both, but we need to see for sure. We need to, see that fight, either one. Well, we need to see both fights, Haye versus both Klitschkos. He's the only hope for the heavyweight division as far as I'm concerned. Excitement, the Klitschkos on the top is just absolutely destroying the heavyweight boxing scene. They're both very, very boring fighters, as is pretty much every heavyweight right now, other than David Haye. So we'll just have to see what happens. But that's the result there. And one more fight on that day. Eric Morales got a very good performance. 6-round TKO over Willie Lemon. First 3 rounds, really nothing went on pretty much. But Morales stepped it up, started coming after him, being aggressive, starting in round 4, and was getting to him more and more. And then just put him down with a barrage of body shots, left hooks to the body, just doubled him over, stopped him. Good performance from Morales. Good for him to get a knockout win, especially this late in his career. And now he's looking at a possible match with Juan Manuel Marquez, assuming he comes out of his fight with Katsidas coming up in November. Should win that one pretty easily. But out of all those top fighters, the four big fighters of the featherweight, lightweight divisions over the past several years, Pacquiao, Morales, Marquez, and Barrera. Morales and Marquez are the only 2 out of those 4 that have never fought the other. Pacquiao fought Barrera twice, and Morales 3 times. Morales and Barrera fought 3 times. Of course, Pacquiao and Marquez fought twice, and Marquez and Barrera even fought once in there. So all of them have met each other. We do need to see the Morales-Marquez fight. Very big interest in it. Of course, hope Morales could pull that out, but he is very late in his career now. Been through a lot of wars. Got to give the edge to Marquez, unfortunately, there. But we'll see what happens. Maybe another fight in between there, possibly. And we'll see exactly where Morales is. Maybe if he steps up the competition a little bit. I mean, he's had 2 tune-up fights now, so good way to come back after being off nearly 3 years. So we'll just see what happens, and maybe that fight can get made sometime next year, hopefully. But anyway, that's going to be it for this show. I'll come back with the next show right after this for the fights yesterday, September 18th, give a recap of those, and going to go ahead and cut it off for this show. It's a week late, I know, but here it is. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next show. All right.